It starts small. A joke that feels a little too sharp. A text left on read for days. A decision made without asking you. You feel it in your gut first, a cold sinking weight, but you swallow it. You smile. You tell yourself you're taking the high road. You tell yourself it doesn't matter, but it does matter. Because disrespect is not an event. It is a process. It is a test. And every time you stay silent, every time you laugh it off, you are not being nice. You are signing a contract. You are telling the world that your dignity is negotiable, that you are cheap, that you can be walked on without consequence. Robert Greene, the modern master of power dynamics and human nature, makes this clear. The moment you are seen as weak, you are already being positioned beneath others. In today's world, power is not declared. It is observed and judged silently. And once that judgment is made, people act accordingly. He doesn't write for people who want to be liked. He writes for people who want to survive, navigate power, and understand the hidden games people play. If you are tired of being the one who gives more than they get, if you are tired of feeling invisible in a room full of people, listen closely. We are going to perform a surgery on your personality. We are going to kill the part of you that begs for approval, and we are going to birth something else, something formidable. But first, we must answer the question that haunts you in the middle of the night. The question you are afraid to ask, because you already know the answer. Why do they do it? And more importantly, why do you let them? There is a psychological trigger you are pulling every single day that invites them to treat you this way. You are doing it right now. You are doing it with your posture, your apologies, and your availability. We need to find that trigger, and we need to break it. Disrespect is rarely a shout. It is a whisper. It begins small, a test. Human beings are constantly scanning their environment for hierarchy. Who is above me? Who is below me? Who can I use? Who must I respect? When someone meets you, whether it is a first date, a new manager, or an old friend, they are subconsciously testing the fence line of your territory. They lean on the fence. They make a small joke at your expense. They show up 10 minutes late without calling. They interrupt your story to tell their own. They are watching, waiting. If the fence holds, if you correct them with a look, a silence, or a firm boundary, they back off. They classify you as someone to respect. But if the fence leans, if you smile nervously, if you say it's okay, don't worry about it. You have just given them permission to invade. Robert Greene explains that in modern power dynamics, people are driven less by fear of harm and more by control of access. They don't need to fear you physically. They need to feel that access to you can be lost. When you tolerate small disrespect, you are training them. You are the architect of your own humiliation. You are teaching them that your time is cheap. Your feelings are irrelevant, and your boundaries are suggestions. Think about the last time you felt small. Maybe it was a meeting. You spoke and someone talked over you. What did you do? Did you stop? Did you apologize? Did you wait for them to finish? In that moment, you signaled submission. You signaled that their voice was more important than yours. And the worst part, you felt it. That sinking feeling in your gut is not just embarrassment. It is your mind reacting to the fact that you abandoned your own position. Disrespect thrives in the gap between your dignity and your fear. You fear conflict. You fear being seen as difficult. You fear that if you stand up for yourself, you will be rejected. So you choose the slow poison of disrespect over the sharp pain of confrontation. But as Robert Greene teaches through modern strategy and human behavior, conflict is never truly avoided. It is only delayed and usually at your expense. When you avoid setting a boundary today, you are guaranteeing a bigger loss tomorrow. And in that moment, you will be weaker, not stronger. So what do? The standard advice is weak. Tell them how you feel. Use I statements. No. When you are dealing with someone who disrespects you, you are dealing with a power dynamic, not a therapy session. If you explain your feelings to someone who doesn't respect you, you are handing them ammunition. You are showing them your soft underbelly. You do not explain. You do not complain. You become the void. Imagine you throw a ball against a wall. It bounces back. You catch it. You throw it again. It's a game. You are engaged. Now imagine you throw that ball into a black abyss. It doesn't bounce back. It doesn't make a sound. It just vanishes. Do you throw another ball? No, you step back. You are unsettled. You are unsure what is in that darkness. That is the power of non-reaction. When someone insults you, they are expecting a specific script. They expect you to get angry, which proves they control your emotions. Or they expect you to retreat, which proves they own your space. When you do neither, you break the script. You look at them. You hold eye contact. You do not smile. You do not scowl. You simply observe. You let their words hang in the air. You let the silence stretch until it becomes uncomfortable. Not for you, for them. Silence is a mirror. In that silence, their insult reflects back onto them. They hear the pettiness in their own voice. They see the immaturity of their own behavior. You will see them start to fidget. They will say, "I was just joking," or "Why are you so serious?" They are scrambling. They are trying to get the ball back, but you don't give it to them. You have entered what Robert Greene would describe as a position of quiet, control, where you do not react impulsively, and that alone shifts the power dynamic. This is not about being passive. This is about being strategic. Energy is currency. Attention is currency. Why would you pay someone who just tried to rob you? When you withhold your reaction, you are signaling that their opinion of you does not carry enough weight to move you. You are signaling that you are anchored in something deeper than their validation. This is the first step to becoming untouchable. You stop feeding the beast. As Robert Greene emphasizes in modern psychological strategy, awareness and control of your reactions is where real power begins. Most people are predictable. They react, they defend, they explain. You don't. You observe, you calculate, and when necessary, you act. Robert Greene emphasizes that to navigate human behavior, you must be able to recognize hidden intentions. Disrespect is often a trap disguised as casual conversation. It is the neg from a manipulator, the backhanded compliment. You're actually smart for someone who didn't go to college. You look good. Have you lost weight? If you take the bait, if you say thank you or if you get defensive, the trap snaps shut. You must develop cold empathy. Hot empathy is feeling what they feel. It is getting swept up in the emotion. Cold empathy is clinical. It is a surgeon looking at a tumor. You understand why they are doing it, but you are not infected by it. Why is this person trying to lower my status? Usually it is because they feel their own status is threatened. The secure do not need to belittle. Only the fragile need to stand on someone else's throat to feel tall. When you see the disrespect for what it is, a symptom of their weakness, not a reflection of your worth, it loses its sting. It becomes pathetic. You stop thinking what is wrong with me, and you start thinking what is broken in them. This shift in perspective is everything. It takes you out of the victim role and puts you in the analyst role. You understand that you cannot fight every battle. If you react to every small insult, every passive-aggressive comment, every provocation, you will exhaust yourself. So you choose carefully. Sometimes the most powerful move is to agree. They say you're so lazy. You say, I know it's a luxury. They say, you're weird. You say, absolutely. This is a technique often referred to as fogging. You become like fog. If you throw a stone at a rock, it chips. If you throw a stone at fog, it passes right through. You offer no resistance. You give them nothing to push against. By agreeing with the insult, or rather by refusing to be insulted by it, you disarm them completely. You take the weapon out of their hand and drop it on the floor. It confuses them. But sometimes silence is not enough. Sometimes the wolf is at the door and the lock is breaking. Robert Greene explains that while strategic awareness is critical, there are moments when you must assert power clearly. There are moments when you must show your teeth. Not to bite necessarily, but to remind them that you can. This is where most people fail. They confuse aggression with strength. They scream. They threaten. They make a scene. That is not strength. That is a tantrum. True aggression is controlled. It is precise. It is a surgical strike. When a boundary is crossed repeatedly, silence is no longer an option. Now you must enact a consequence. But here is the key. The consequence must be action, not words. You do not say, if you do that again, I will leave. You just leave. You do not say, stop interrupting me. You stop speaking entirely. Look at them. Wait for them to finish, and then turn your attention to someone else. You cut them out of the conversation. You remove your attention. You remove your presence. Robert Greene teaches that people either respect strength or they exploit weakness. In modern terms, This means they either adjust to your boundaries or they lose access to you. In a modern context, crushed does not mean harm. It means they lose access to the privilege of your time. If you have a friend who constantly flakes on you, you don't write a long paragraph about how it hurts your feelings. You stop inviting them. When they finally reach out, you are busy, not fake busy, actually busy building a life that doesn't depend on them. You effectively kill the version of the relationship where they get to disrespect you. This is painful. It requires you to be willing to lose people. And that is why so many of you are stuck. You are not willing to walk away. You are holding on to the scraps of a relationship because you are terrified of the void. But you must understand this. If you are not willing to walk away, you have no leverage, none. The one who can leave controls the dynamic. The one who stays no matter what gets controlled. The lion does not bluff. The lion does not negotiate its own existence. The lion marks its territory. And if you cross it, there is a price to pay. That price is your absence. Scarcity creates value. Diamonds are valuable because they are rare. Oxygen is free. But if I take it away from you for 2 minutes, you will trade everything you own for a breath. Robert Greene explains in Modern Social Dynamics that familiarity breeds contempt. If you are always available, always present, always replying instantly, your value drops. You become part of the furniture. When you have been disrespected, your immediate instinct is often to try harder to win them back, to prove you are worthy, to fix it. Do the opposite. Withdraw. This is not the silent treatment. The silent treatment is manipulative. It is done to provoke a reaction. I'm talking about strategic withdrawal. This is done for your protection and recalibration. You pull your energy back into your own center. You stop initiating. You stop sharing your inner world. You become a surface, polite, professional, but impenetrable. You treat them like a stranger. There is a coldness to this, a necessary coldness. When you withdraw your warmth, they feel the chill. They realize that the warmth was a gift, not a right. And suddenly the dynamic shifts. They start to pursue you. Is everything okay? You've been quiet lately. Do not rush back in. Let them sit in the cold. Let them realize that your presence is something that must be earned. This requires you to have a life outside of them. You must have a mission, a purpose, a kingdom of your own. If your entire world revolves around one person, a partner, a boss, a parent, you are vulnerable. You are a satellite orbiting their planet. If they push you away, you drift into dark space. But if you are the sun, if you have your own gravity, then their disrespect does not move you. You simply burn on. Build your fortress. Build your skills. Build your body. Build your bank account. Build your mind. When you know that you can survive and thrive without them, you become dangerous. You become free. And a free person is impossible to disrespect, because a free person can always leave. Now we go deeper into the dark room of the mind. We have talked about how to handle the external world. But the external world is just a reflection of the internal one. The brutal truth. The modern psychological truth that Robert Greene also points toward is this. You are being disrespected because on some level you believe you deserve it. You have a disrespect baseline. It is a thermostat setting in your subconscious. If you were raised in a chaotic home, or if you have a history of trauma, your thermostat is set to tolerance. You are comfortable with a certain level of disrespect. It feels familiar. It feels like home. When someone treats you well, you get suspicious. You sabotage it. When someone treats you poorly, you lean in. You try to fix them. You have to reset the thermostat. You have to build what the Stoics called the inner citadel, a fortress inside your mind that no one can enter without your permission. This begins with how you talk to yourself. If you disrespect yourself, if you break promises to yourself, if you eat garbage, if you procrastinate, if you look in the mirror and think insults, why would you expect anyone else to treat you differently? You are broadcasting your self-worth on a frequency that everyone can hear. When you walk into a room, your micro-expressions, your tone of voice, the way you hold space, it all tells a story. Is the story please like me, or is the story I am here? To kill disrespect, you must first kill the weak version of yourself. The version that needs validation like a drug. You must fast from validation. Stop asking people what they think. Stop fishing for compliments. Stop apologizing for taking up space. Start keeping promises to yourself. If you say you are going to the gym, you go. If you say you are going to work, you work. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, You lay a brick in the inner citadel. You build self-trust, and when you trust yourself, when you respect yourself, other people's disrespect feels disgusting. It doesn't feel familiar anymore. It feels like a violation, and you reject it instantly, reflexively, like touching a hot stove. You don't have to try to set boundaries. Your existence is the boundary. People can sense self-respect. It has a presence. It feels like someone who cannot be manipulated. And interestingly, it attracts the right kind of people. People who want to meet you at your level, not people who want to drag you down to theirs. Let's look at the practical application. Tomorrow morning, you walk into work or you sit at the dinner table. Someone makes a comment, "Must be nice to leave early," or "I see you finally decided to join us." The old you would have laughed nervously. The old you would have explained, "Oh, I actually finished all my work," or "Sorry, traffic was bad." The new you, the one who has walked through this fire, you stop, you turn, you look them in the eye, you hold the gaze for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, you say nothing. You turn back to what you were doing. You have just signaled, "I heard you and it was beneath me." Or perhaps you use the Socratic method. You play the fox. They say, "Must be nice to leave early," you ask with genuine curiosity. What do you mean by that? Force them to explain the insult. Force them to unpack their passive aggression. So just that you're leaving before 5, yes. Is there a problem with my output? Now they are on the defensive. Now they have to either justify themselves or back down. You have taken the covert attack and made it overt. You have dragged the ghost into the sunlight. This is the work. It is uncomfortable. Your heart will race. Your hands might shake. Do it anyway. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is acting while you are afraid. Every time you do this, you rewrite your neural pathways. You are training your brain that you are safe. When you defend yourself, you are training your nervous system that you can handle the conflict, and slowly the fear fades. It is replaced by something else, a quiet, controlled pride, the pride of someone who no longer abandons themselves, the pride of someone who has finally taken control of their position. We must address the shadow. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist, taught that we all have a shadow, the dark, repressed side of our personality. The aggression, the selfishness, the capacity for violence. You have been taught to hide your shadow, to be good, to be harmless. But a harmless man is not a good man. A harmless man is a weak man. A good man is a dangerous man who has his danger under voluntary control. To handle disrespect, you must integrate your shadow. You must be in touch with your capacity for malevolence. You need to know that you could hurt them, that you could destroy their reputation with a sentence, that you could be cruel and you choose not to be. That is where your confidence comes from. Not from being harmless, but from being dangerous and controlled. When you know you have a sword, you don't need to wave it around. You can keep it in the sheath, but people know it is there. They see the hilt. This is the Robert Greene perspective in modern terms. To have peace, you must be prepared for conflict. If you are incapable of aggression, your kindness is just submission. If you are capable of aggression, but choose kindness, that is strength. Stop trying to be a saint. Be a warrior in a garden. When someone disrespects you, they are essentially checking to see if you have a sword, if they see you are unarmed. If they see you are incapable of conflict, they will take everything from you. Show them the hilt. Show them that you are choosing peace, but you are not afraid of conflict. Let's pause. I want you to think about the cost. What has your tolerance cost you? It has cost you sleep. It has cost you dignity. It has cost you the respect of your children who watch how you let people treat you. It has cost you money because you didn't ask for the raise. It has cost you love because you stayed with someone who treated you like an option. Disrespect is a thief. It steals your future. Every time you swallow your truth, you are swallowing poison. That poison accumulates. It turns into resentment. It turns into depression. Depression is often just anger with nowhere to go. It turns into illness. The body keeps the score. You cannot afford to be disrespected anymore. It is too expensive. The price is your life. Are you willing to pay that price just to keep the peace? Whose peace are you keeping? Theirs. Because you certainly aren't keeping yours. You are setting yourself on fire to keep them warm. Stop it, let them freeze. The ultimate goal is not just to handle disrespect. It is to transcend it. There comes a level of self-mastery where the opinions of others truly deeply do not matter. This is the state of the outlier. The outlier knows that people project their own reality onto others. When someone calls you arrogant, it is because they feel small. When someone calls you selfish, it is because they want to use you. The outlier does not take it personally. They take it structurally. You see human beings as sophisticated machines running outdated software. They are reacting to their trauma, their fears, their conditioning. You are just a screen they are projecting their movie onto. When you realize this, when you truly understand it, you become free. You can look at someone screaming at you and feel nothing but curiosity. How fascinating, you think. Look at how much pain they are in. You are no longer on the chessboard. You are watching the game. This is the level Robert Greene has written about in Modern Power. Dynamics and perception control. The level where you are not ruled by emotion, but by awareness. You become the eye of the storm. The chaos spins around you, but you are still. And in that stillness, you find a power that no shout, no insult, and no betrayal can ever touch. This is the victory. Not that they stop trying to disrespect you. They might never stop. The world is full of broken people. The victory is that you stop caring. You stop needing them to be different. You stop waiting for an apology that will never come. You accept reality as it is, and you move through it with the grace of a predator and the wisdom of a strategist. You become the lion and the fox. So here is your mission for the next 7 days. Observe. Be the fox. Notice every time someone crosses a line. Notice every time you feel the urge to apologize when you did nothing wrong. Notice every time you shrink. Don't judge it, just see it. And then pick one small battle, one moment where you would usually fold and hold. Hold the silence. Hold the gaze. Hold the boundary. Watch what happens. Watch the shock in their eyes. Watch the shift in the energy and feel the surge of power returning to your body. It begins with one moment, one choice, one act of refusal. You have the map. You have the weapon. The question is, do you have the will? Robert Greene wrote that everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. Show them who you really are, not by speaking louder, but by refusing to be moved. Before we close, understand this is not a one-time fix. This is a lifestyle, a philosophy. You will fail. You will slide back into old habits. You will let someone walk over you, and you will hate yourself for it later. That is part of the process. Forgive yourself, then sharpen the sword again. The path to sovereignty is a steep mountain. Most people die at the base camp complaining about the weather. You are climbing. The air is thinner up here. It is colder. But the view is clarity. You see who people really are, and more importantly, you see who you really are. You are not the victim of your story. You are the author, and the author has the power to write a new character, a character who commands respect, not by demanding it, but by embodying it. The world will adjust to you. It always does. The strong determine the atmosphere. The weak adapt to it. Be the weather. Disrespect is a question. Are you weak? Your response must be the answer. No, you do not need to shout it. Your life should be the answer. Your posture should be the answer. Your absence should be the answer. We have walked through the valley of the shadow. We have dissected the insult. We have armed the mind. Now you must go back into the world. The wolves are waiting. Let them wait. You are ready. If this opened your eyes, understand this is only what I can show publicly. There are aspects of human psychology and power I cannot fully reveal here. Subscribe if you haven't. But if you want deeper levels of insight, go further. Most won't, that's the point.